We are back, in case you didn't realize, with Twofold, which already I'm liking the aesthetic vibes of. Also, we had a little bit of a setup which I just not skipped through, but I just went through it before stream, and there was legibility options, which was really nice. I have gone with a handwritten style since I'm going to be reading everything out anyway, although it seems there might be voice acting in this game. There's definitely some voices. I don't know if it's going to be one of those, they read out partial lines that are like, whoa, you serious? And then the dialogue is slightly different, but in that theme. Heck, it doesn't look folded. It looks like it's two separate sheets. We've been lied to. You know what? We're playing a different game. We can't take this. They're gonna lie to us like that. That's no. But yes. So that's all cute. Let's see what this game is about. I honestly don't entirely remember. This was one that I took a brief look at to fill in some slots, and it looked cute, and there was a key available. So I was like, yeah, let's take it. This is made by Salty Studios, believe they're called Salty something. Yeah, Salty Studios and Studio Coattails. Published by Studio Elan, who do a lot of Yori dating games, or a lot of, I think it's specifically Yori, although I think the protagonist of this one is non-binary. And also has gone against the typical thing I've been doing of only doing one game per developer. But since this one was developed but not published by Studio Elan, I'm saying it Elan. I don't know if that's right. Being festive, be so festive, but angrily. Gah! And then our next game is developed and published by Studio Elan. So I'm allowing that to count. Because also, they look cute. Right. On that note, Twofold. Let's see what it's all about. What's happening?
College will open new paths for you, is what my mom had always said.
Seems fully voiced so far.
I took those words to heart, despite my usual cynicism. Even as my high school friends drifted away from me over the years, and the stresses of moving out and living a lone mountain, I continued to believe in them. Then came today. The meeting with the advisor was never going to go well. Academic probation isn't a term thrown around in good circumstances. Even with all that, a 1.2 GPA was a surprise. 5 whole credits. After cruising through school before college, it feels like a bad joke when I repeat his coldly delivered words in my head. My heart sinking, I finally closed the door behind me. A chapter of my life closes with it.
How was the audio on that? I might turn the voices down a little bit more, just since I will also be talking, probably. I think I'll turn the sounds down a bit more as well. But how did you all feel? Also, one thing I saw, which was cool, styling wasn't it, but I also want to see if there's anything else. Oh, text-to-speech. I'm not going to turn that on because I want to read stuff out, but... Ooh. Right, I'm getting lost in menus, but the thing I wanted to show off was that you can actually change the volumes on specific people's voices from the looks, which is interesting. I think that's a really cool idea. They're done good. Anyway, let's not look at the characters we've not met yet. Let's right-click or escape to return to the game. Walking by the bike propped up against a wall, I shiver from the chill of fall running through my apartment. The practically non-existent insulation does little keep the cold out, nor the noise. Without a roommate to share the space with, there's little to hear but the occasional passing traffic. Mute one character and make them have your voice. I will just say one of the characters is a cat. I could mute them and become the cat. Because being a human is too much hard work. We've done it. We found the through line. We did it, guys. Excellent work, everyone. Deal! Welcome in, lovely. Hope you're having a nice day so far. I hardly mind. Solitude is more comfortable anyway. Unfortunately for me, that same silence makes me focus all the more on my failure. Upon reaching the living room, I simply stop. It's not like this should be out of left field. Stop checking my grades on the school website, knowing full well that the hours eaten up by work would take their toll. Between working late and studying early, it's all I could do to not fall asleep during lectures. Denial. That's all it was. Now it's caught up to me, and I have no real way out. What do I do now? For all I've tried to avoid burdening my mum, neither of us could possibly afford another semester or so of college if I failed out. Your app gave you a good grade in sleep. Excellent. I'm so proud of you. Good job. I did get back home okay, thanks. Yes. It's... Despite the one train being cancelled and thus being delayed by an hour and a half, the rest of the trip was at least pretty smooth. I did realise, only more or less upon arriving at home, that it meant I was travelling for 6 hours. But if I think about that, I'll go insane. So let's just not. Let's not. I know who isn't getting good grades. I think there's several of us who aren't getting good grades, Ravane. I suspect I know at least another person. What do I do now? For all I've tried to avoid burdening my mum, neither of us could possibly afford another semester or so of college if I failed out. I shuffle to the kitchen counter and grab a glass of water to calm my nerves. With little else available to distract myself from what I should be doing, I step over to the fern on the sill and slowly drizzle the pebbles around it with water. I'm surprised it's still alive after all this time, having bought it when I moved here. Managed to take care of a plant feels like a bad consolation prize given everything else I've messed up. I don't be grading on anything for like a decade. I don't know what you're talking about. That is too many hours. Yeah. Let's not think about it. All I can do is sigh and appreciate the chance to wind down a little by caring for the thing. With the soil dark and leaves shining from the droplets of water, I put down the glass and fall back onto the couch. Might as well get this over with. I fish the phone from my pocket and navigate to my mum in the contacts list. Then I press the call button. Anxious seconds go by as it rings before she finally picks up.
Hello?
Hi, Mom.
Hi, Olive. How's it going?
I just got back from talking to my advisor.
Implore you to look up delay repaying it. Oh yes, I do need to remember to do that.
What did he say?
Her cheery tone drops a little. She must have heard the defeat in my own voice.
It's... I have a 1.2 GPA. Only 5 credits.
I feel like I'm deflating as I sink further into my couch. I thought I'd be scared or frustrated at how bad this is, but that's worn off and become a dull emptiness.
Oh, honey.
The last tone of voice I wanted to hear was that sweet, concerned voice. It'd be so much easier if she just yelled at me, a sentiment I've thought more than once. I've been there!
It's okay. This doesn't mean the end. I know someone as smart as my Ollie can find a way.
If I pulled off a decent GPA and passed all my classes and managed full credits for them, I'd still end up short. He did try to give me some options, but...
See, there you go.
I don't know if they'll do any good, Mom. It's an intro art class and a creative writing class. He even said they're basically filler.
Wow. That feels wild for a... for a university thing. Yeah, these degrees are bullshit, but hey.
It sounds like it's something you should try, don't you think? You could easily tackle either of those.
I've never been good at that kind of stuff. You know that.
You can only give your best shot. I think that's more than enough. You've been through harder trials in your life, and you've overcome those, and you're so much stronger for it. What this means is that there's hope.
Hope. I really wish I could believe her on that one. This is one hell of a long shot. I did fine in topics like science and math back in high school, but I've never had an inkling of creativity. The art scene is also the last place I'd want to be anywhere near. Passing one of the 2 courses should give me barely enough credits to pass. Barely understates things. Then again, a pass is a pass, and skipping a semester isn't an option financially. Mum would doubtlessly do her best to help cover the costs. Fact that puts a knot in my stomach. All this is just trying to rationalize away one simple fact. She's right.
I'll do my best. Sorry for putting you through this.
So said the 2 other students I was advising well. Yeah, having said it, I kind of thought, I was like, actually, you know what, I could definitely, I mean, I don't know, I could definitely see them feeling it. I don't know that I would expect them to say the quiet part loud. But...
Honey, you don't need to apologize. I know there's a lot going on. I know you're doing what you can. You always have me on your side. Your advisor wants you to succeed too. That's why he gave you this option. I know you can do this. I'll see you at work in a couple of days. We can talk about this more there, okay? I know it's easier said than done, but try not to stress yourself out too much about all this. Maybe you can make yourself something to take your mind off things. It's nearly dinner time after all, so make something nice for yourself.
It's a better solution than drowning my worries in some greasy fast food, as much as I'd love to take the easy way out of any additional responsibilities tonight.
Alright. I'll try. See you.
Bye, Olive. I love you. Just remember that tomorrow's another day.
I'm not afraid of the political science department. I'll take any of them in a fight.
Love you too.
With that, the line goes dead. Big moment is over. I rest the phone on the coffee table before me. Starting tomorrow, I have all of 1 week to decide on one of the 2 classes. A class that'll decide whether I get a college education, or stay stuck in this rut for probably the rest of my life. All I have to do is pass an art or English class to do it. As the silence of the apartment starts gnawing at the back of my mind, I decide to get up and start preparing that dinner to distract myself. Prologue by a thread. The next day. I love that aesthetic. It's so good. Today marks the beginning of the experiment. The drop period for classes ends next week, and so, at my advisor's suggestion, I've signed up for both the art and English lessons. Who's this character? Oh, you can't see my mouse. Who's this character over on the right-hand blackboard there? What are they up to? What are their schemes? The plan is to sit on both, decide which is best for me, and drop the other. I only need one to survive, and I'd rather not stuff my already full schedule any more than I have to. So, here I am, sitting in art class, the same face reflected on the other side. I've gone back and forth on this all day, oscillating between, I don't have an ounce of creativity, there's no way I can do this, and it's just drawing, right? It's so hard.
And from there, we will cover the Futurist movement, which after its founding in 1909...
I think I've settled on there's no way for now. Try as I might to take proper notes, I have no idea what I'm writing down. Psst. A movement in the corner of my eye and a small chirpy voice beside me aren't helping. Sorry, my brain kind of only just registered this person just popping in and back out of frame. That was very cute. The thing in my peripheral vision is shoved further into view. Glancing over shows it to be an open notebook, which I try to tune out. The notebook slides back and forth in response, tapping on my own book as I try to write. Grimacing only spurs them on, now sure that they have my attention. What do they want from me? I lightly slap my hand down on the paper, stopping their movements. Far from being discouraged, the culprit beams back at me as I glance over. Cast against the window beyond her, the girl smiles cheerfully. The two of us couldn't look more different as I stare wearily at her, the sun behind her paling in comparison to her own bright nature. She gives me a thumbs up of encouragement, earning a bemused, furrowed brow. Fluffy, fluffy. I might as well humor her at this point. And even you look extremely similar, I think more in vibes than in appearance. Hey, you look pretty lost. You doing okay? You need some help? Look at these little guys! Look at these little otters! Looks like me in high school. That's horrifying. I thought she looked cute. So, make of that what you will. I raised my tired eyes back to the author, only for her to resume her thumbs up pose. Is she genuinely interested in helping, or just making fun of me? Would it be rude? Would it be too rude to add that she's only making it harder? I'm just trying to focus. I decide against it and slide it back. Yeah, I know it's hard. This guy teaches it so boring. But listen, I know all about this stuff. I can help you if you want. I look at my syllabus on my desk in front of me, full of names and terms and concepts I know nothing about. This class isn't just drawing at all. It covers everything from art history to social movements. My heart sinks at the sheer breadth of knowledge that'll be needed. The professor's droning lecture is soon lost on me as my attention wanders to her notebook. Though she's dedicated the full page to this conversation, I can make out various notes about art bleeding through the back of the page, even if the handwriting is hard to decipher. My eyes drifting further, I notice another book sitting on her desk. An open sketchbook this time, its pages covered with drawings of this and that. That's in addition to the doodles and the notes she's been passing me. I'll be fine. Okay, sure. This class must be perfect for someone like her.
Yes!
Upon reading my note, she suddenly shouts aloud in excitement. All I can do is freeze as the attention of the entire class, including the professor, is instantly drawn to her.
Yes. Caprice. Is there something you need?
His pronounced sigh makes it all too obvious that he knows this particular student altogether too well.
Just excited and ready to learn. Is there something you need?
I need you to stay quiet while I'm talking. That's okay with you.
Yes, sir. Sorry, sir.
She gives an exaggerated salute, which seems to satisfy him. There are a few quiet giggles around the class, not that she seems to care. She turns and sees me watching, which prompts her to give yet another thumbs up. I didn't put the thing in the... Ah, my doofus. Which one does this arrow look like? The one with the sick hat? The one with the sick hat. I didn't pin the message to check this game out. That seems to be the one I keep missing today. There we go. And after a moment's scribbling, to give yet another note in the corner of her page. Let's talk after class. I know just how to help you. I'm Caprice, by the way. We got that. She signs the note, though I've already caught her name from the professor saying it. What was that? Oh, okay, that's cool. Yes, in case you have trouble reading the handwriting, which is, you know, I sometimes do. A lot of hats in high school. Picture it didn't happen. I seem to remember you having hats a lot, yeah. I figure I might as well reply one last time. Thanks, I'm Olive. I forgot to read that out. No. No. Ooh, wait. Right click. We're fine. It's all good. What does this say, by the way? Sketchy proposal. Comfortable silence. I love the vibes on this. I have no idea the kind of person I've just agreed to talk to. Is she normally the type to pass notes and shout out during class? Last time I remember communicating like this is elementary school. The rest of the class goes by uneventfully, for better or worse. I try my best to take notes and follow along, but by the end, the professor's ramblings and tangents end up overwhelming me.
Olive!
Before I can even leave the classroom, I'm accosted by my new acquaintance. I'd planned on waiting for her outside the door.
Olive, right? Olive!
That's right.
I'm Caprice. Nice to finally talk.
And then we bounced ever so slightly in place. She extends a hand, which I take. Her shake is surprisingly firm and fast, my arm being yanked around by the slight figure before me.
Yeah, so...
So, listen. I'm the president of the art club here on campus.
Oh.
Well, not the art club, but one of the art clubs. The better one. Forget about that other one.
Oh, rival gangs, is it?
In fact, forget I mentioned it. There's only one art club, and it's mine.
Oh no.
And you see, we're looking for members. Any level of skill will do. The best way to learn art is to work alongside your peers.
Hey.
So if you're looking for help, there's really no better way than to join our art club. We're all pretty much good artists who can definitely teach you anything you need to know. I can even offer you personal lessons. That's a generous offer from the club president, you know.
I have to stop this. I'm not looking for a club or anything like this.
Thank you. But I think I'll pass.
Oh no.
She retreats a step back, hands clasped together.
I came on too strong. I'm sorry. Don't worry about all that stuff I said. I do think we could help you, though.
I appreciate the offer, really. But I just don't think...
I'm not asking you to join. Just maybe come by sometime. Oh, I know. I'll set up a club meeting for you to scope out. I'll let the others know to expect you once we can decide on a date. No strings attached. I think you'd fit right in.
Oh, it's Doki Doki Origami Club. I can already tell she won't relent until I give in. Also, taking part in club activities in a Japanese high school was definitely a trope in visual novels long before Doki Doki Literature Club was a thing. I sigh. She's not gonna let me go until I offer some kind of compromise.
Okay, sure. I'll give it some thought.
She's the ghost had Olive's hairstyle in high school. Hey! Were it not for the difference in ages, maybe they were... Maybe this is about them.
Awesome! Trust me, it'll be great.
Almost like DDLC was a commentary on that genre. Almost like it, yeah. Almost like that.
Anyway, I gotta go. See you around, Olive!
She pats me on the shoulder and runs out, leaving me in her dust. If I don't go, she'll definitely confront me about it next class. I'm not looking for a club to join, though, and I'd rather not deal with someone so high energy. Maybe just sitting in won't hurt. I'll worry about this later. I've got places to get to as well. The next day... Ooh... The afternoon shift at the diner has proven to be a slow one, much to my relief. With Mum off for the day and the rest of the staff otherwise unavailable, I find myself idly flipping through my art textbook at an empty booth. The contents are overwhelming compared to what I expected from a class like this, and I have to constantly remind myself that courses like this typically rely on participation and effort more than anything. Still hard to not stress out about it as my eyes glaze over foreign terms and information, though. The small chime of the bell pulls me out of my trance as a customer sneaks through the door without me noticing. I bounce to my feet to greet her, trying my best to hide how off guard I feel.
Hey, welcome to the Bell House. Party at 1?
I go to retrieve a menu for the woman as she turns to meet me.
3, actually. My roommates should be in shortly. They're just wrapping up a conversation out in the car.
Got it. Booth it is then. Right this way.
I take a few steps further into the diner, ready to lead her to a spot near the back. I only make it a couple of feet before a voice interrupts my train of thought.
Hey Millie, catch!
She turns back around towards the entrance of the diner, handily catching a small keyring sent flying towards her. It takes a moment to get my eyes on the picture. A woman in orange and yellow seems to be the culprit, and behind her... Oh no. There's no other way to rationalize this other than sort of a divine-level prank, as the leader of the art club from yesterday is the last to enter the tiny space. Much to my despair, she seems to recognize me as quickly as I recognize her.
Ah! It's you!
It's me.
I feel like I'm missing something.
Oh, right. Haley, Millie, meet the newest art club member. Olive, I'm pretty sure their name was.
Pleased to meet you, Olive.
Her smile looks sincere, which makes the short pause beforehand even more concerning.
She got you roped into this without even having your name down yet?
She got it right on her first go, at least. I'm not in the club yet, though. Just testing the waters.
Love a diner with train car theming. I really like it. It's really cool, right? I think I might be misremembering, but I seem to remember hearing that the original diners were converted train cars. Like, that they were decommissioned. They're like, well, we've just got all these lying around already on places where a lot of transport is happening. Let's turn them into places people can get food on the road. I might be getting that a bit wrong, though.
It's only a matter of time.
Uh-huh. Anyway...
Wanting nothing more to do than to be done with this interaction, I spin myself around and start making my way to the back of the diner, beckoning them to follow. It's hard not to notice Millie glance at the textbook I had left out as the trio pass it by. The three shuffle in, Caprice and Millie on the opposite sides, Haley opting to follow in after Millie. After I pass them their menus and pretend to look busy by wiping down a nearby table, the three make idle chatter as they talk about our offerings. I'd like to say I wasn't eavesdropping, but the truth is simply that they don't end up saying anything interesting. It's not long before they settle on their orders. Loaded fries for Caprice, chicken sandwich for Millie, and a breakfast platter for Haley. The latter is a bit annoying to prep at this hour, but it's nothing I'm not used to at this point. I carefully set each place in front of its intended recipient. The fries give me a bit of a scare with a near spill, but Caprice helps save the dish in the nick of time.
Enjoy. Just speak up if you need anything else.
It smells great. Thank you.
With a small wave, I leave them to their meals, taking my seat back at my textbook a couple of booths over. My eyes continue to glaze over the writing and images. The entire book is nothing but a jumbled mess to me. Its more logical approach to the arts contradicting the hands-on approach of the class. To relieve the strain from my eyes, I occasionally glance up at the diner's current guests. Millie's quick to steal a fry or two, with Caprice matching her roommate's thieving by taking a forkful of hash browns from Haley's plate. The laughter and back and forth you'd expect from stuff like this is more subdued than you'd expect, but they seem to be enjoying themselves. And then, Haley spots me. I try to avert my eyes back down to my book to feign ignorance, but it's too little too late.
Hey, whatever your name was.
Olive. Hi.
Sure, let's go with that.
Yeah, let's go with that, since it's our name. With Millie glancing over Caprice's shoulder and Caprice's head spun round, looks like I'm not getting out of this. With a resigned sigh, I stand up and approach their booth again.
Don't suppose this is just you asking for a refill?
Haley seems to consider it for a moment, glancing down at her half-empty cup before deciding against it.
Maybe in a bit. Just figured you wanted to chat with you staring longingly at us like that.
Caprice and Millie share a glance. Internally, I cringe. Thanks for wording it precisely like that, Haley. I've known you for approximately 5 minutes and I already feel like hiding away forever.
Sorry, that textbook was giving me a headache and there's not much else to look at in here.
Studying at work is impressive, though. You must really be invested in the art class already, huh?
Not at all, sorry to say. I've actually got another class tomorrow as a backup plan, in case the art one doesn't work out.
Oh, really? What kind of class, if you don't mind me asking?
Huh? Just intro to creative writing. Some small filler thing.
What?
Caprice slams both her hands on the table in shock and teleports her and Millie over, her head quickly turning between Millie and I. Her reaction, combined with a sudden grin from Millie, has me an indescribable level of terrified.
Well, today's just full of coincidences. I happen to be the leader of the writing club on campus. We have our first meeting of the semester tomorrow afternoon if you're interested.
She retrieves her wallet, pulls out a small business card, and scribbles a room number and time on the back before passing it over to me.
If the art club doesn't work out for you, I'd be more than happy to help however I can with your writing course.
Wait. Olive, the writing class is going to be a real challenge. If we're thinking of the same one, Millie took it last semester, and I swear I saw her writing 8-page papers every other week.
Slam the table so hard the camera bounces to a new shot. It's a continuity error. Slam the table, the camera broke, they had to go back to this one. It's fine, people won't notice. I'd already been nervous about how tomorrow was going to go, and that definitely doesn't help matters.
You're exaggerating. Besides, that textbook Olive was poring over didn't look like much of a pleasant experience either.
I can't argue that point.
I can! I've had the same professor in another class. We'll hardly ever use the book. Either way, a little bit of studying and some doodling is a heck of a lot easier than what you went through.
Says the woman spending days at a time stressing about inspiration and color composition.
Caprice glares daggers into what I assumed to be her friend, a far cry from her smile yesterday. Millie pretends not to notice, going back to her sandwich after I tuck the card away in my back pocket. I turn to Haley, looking for some kind of explanation. I'm met with a raised glass, the half-melted ice clanking against it as she shakes it around.
Lemon lime. Thanks.
Coming right up.
I'm enjoying the aloof, husky voice too cool to care off between Olive and Haley, right? It's so good. The writing class ran longer than I would have liked. The professor definitely belongs in that course, the clear love of language and words. A lot of words. The syllabus didn't enter our hands until 10 minutes after the estimated end of class, and the rigorous requirements listed on it didn't make me feel any better. Given Millie's experience in the class, I want to go into the club today feeling optimistic, but in truth, neither leader has done a spectacular job of selling me so far. I mindlessly turn the card over in my hands a few times as I navigate the halls of the building. Judging by the advertisement for a car repair shop on the front, it's probably some trash she had yet to throw away before she handed it off to me. The information on the back is a lot more useful to me at the moment. I'm on the right floor at this point, at least. Now it's just a matter of finding the right door. The only thing unusual in this hall is a lanky guy fidgeting nervously outside of one of the rooms. The club room, as it so happens.
Huh? Oh!
Given by the way he jumps back, it seems my presence had gone unnoticed. Getting a decent look at his face, something feels familiar, but I can't quite place it. His widened eyes seem to imply he's come to a similar sort of conclusion.
Olive? Olive Penn?
Yeah, that's me. And you're...
We shared a few classes back in high school. I don't blame you if you don't remember. I go by Darren now. Darren Baker.
Evil twin? Evil twin? It's not until he offers a feeble handshake that I realize who I'm talking to. We weren't super close or anything, but having a friend of any kind around after a little over a year of solitude is enough to get a smile out of me. They are absolutely the same person.
I remember. Don't worry. You're looking good.
Darren, you, but boy? Seems potentially so, yeah.
And you're looking
Fellow
the same
trans,
as ever.
seemingly.
Glad to see college hasn't changed you much.
Well, I think I might be overdue for a little change, honestly.
I end my greeting with a small chuckle to play it off, which seems to satisfy him as he retains his smile. If he only knew the half of it. As much as I'd like to do a bit of catching up and continue avoiding the matter at hand, I'm becoming more and more aware of how late I'm running.
Anyway, are you here for the writing club too?
Just so hard you physically split in two. I glance down at the card to triple check the details before returning my attention to him. He gives a dejected nod without so much as even glancing at it.
Yeah. That was the plan, at least.
Something up?
It's just more crowded than I was imagining it. Lots of noise and talking over each other. I poked my head in for a second, and that was enough.
Eesh. Yeah, I can't blame you.
It's good to hear that it's active, at least. I can definitely sympathize with Darren's situation, and it's a sentiment I'd echo in any other scenario, but sidestepping it is out of the question. I've already committed to checking out Caprice's club, so at this point it's better to get as many options as I can.
Well, wanna check it out together? I haven't been looking forward to it much either, to be honest. But having a friend there would help. No pressure though.
I fully expect him to turn down the offer, not being shackled to the obligation like me, but instead, his face lights up.
No, it's fine. Sounds good to me.
As soon as the door opens, the noise Darren warned me about becomes obvious. The corners of her mouth already felt heavy, but that's only intensified as I discover the source of the squabbling. In the back of the room is a small group of people talking amongst themselves, scouring through the counters for supplies. The lone woman sitting at one of the desks is entirely silent, tapping away on her phone as noise assaults her from both sides of the room. And in the front is Caprice, arguing with Millie.
It sure is convenient that you picked today to do this.
It has to be today. There's hardly any time left to get all of this sorted.
You couldn't even wait a couple hours?
If you just signed the papers, we'd be out of here in 15 minutes, tops.
The two continue their back and forth a bit longer, before suddenly stopping and swiveling their heads as the door fully opens to reveal myself and Darren.
Oh, what a coincidence.
You knew I was coming. You heard Millie offer as much yesterday.
That didn't necessarily mean you'd show up. I thought for sure you wouldn't have bothered.
Millie seems eager to respond, but instead just stands there silently fuming. The threat of a retort almost scares me more than if she had actually chosen to speak up. Caprice seems unfazed by her friend's body language and instead turns her attention to the back of the room.
Hey, you guys! This is Olive, the person I was telling you about.
The woman glued to her phone doesn't react, but the four in the back turn around to face us. Having just a couple sets of eyes on me is enough to make me want to shrink away into my vest, let alone 6.
Oh, hi. I'm Allison. Nice to meet you. Caprice has told us a bunch about you already.
A small pause seems to imply that's the end of that interaction, much to my relief. Allison bumps her elbow into the arm of the woman beside her, which unfortunately seems to be enough to keep it going.
Eileen. Yeah, good seeing you. We're a bit busy now, though.
And with that, she turns back around and continues piling miscellaneous coloured papers and craft supplies under her arm. With a small sigh, Allison resumes her work as well. Confident she's not going to be getting any more out of the two, Caprice focuses her attention to another pair of students. A tall and intimidating man casually leaning on the countertop, and a stern-faced woman watching intently as Eileen and Allison pick away at the supplies.
The big guy's Wallace, our newest member, excluding you.
And the last one?
She's not with us.
A surprising amount of venom in that response, more than I think Caprice capable.
And thank goodness for that. Name's Tanya. Thanks for asking. I'm with the writing club. Millie told me you'd be coming today. Didn't mention there being 2 of you, though.
On that note,
Having had enough of this distraction, Millie makes her way back behind the desk at the front. She pulls out a pen and swiftly jots down her signature before beckoning Caprice over to retrieve the paper from her.
here's my signature as assurance that I'll finish filling out the form after the meeting if it makes you feel better. Now, if you don't mind, I'd like to actually have a meeting today, so I would appreciate it if you hurried up your pillaging.
Caprice opens her mouth, ready to protest, then decides better of it. She gives the contents of the paper a quick skim. It must satisfy her as she joins her clubmates in the back of the room.
Anyway, come in, you two. I was expecting Olive, but it's nice to see someone else joining us today as well. My name's Millie. Nice to meet you.
She extends her hand towards Darren, who reluctantly takes it.
Darren. Hi.
With a small shake and a smile, she ushers us to a pair of desks, then makes her way up to the front of the room. She shuffles around in her bag looking for some sort of reference material.
You've got quite the fan club, huh?
The sound of my forehead hitting the desk is louder than any kind of argument Caprice and Millie could have. A sharp clearing of the throat from the front of the room is enough to drag my gaze back up, albeit slowly.
With all of that finally out of the way, it's time to begin the first writing club meeting of the semester. Welcome.
Front and center of the room, open book in hand, Millie definitely gives off a natural kind of teacher vibe.
This club's one of the oldest in the school, so we have a lot to live up to. Tanya introduced herself already. She's been helping me keep things moving for a while now. The talkative girl is Heather.
Giving up on her phone for the distractions, Heather finally sits down and gives a disinterested wave in response to Millie's equally lukewarm introduction of her.
So, it's not typically this busy?
Heather smirks, though it's hard for me to gauge why.
Oh, no, I'm so sorry about the bad first impression. Things are typically a lot quieter.
I don't even need to turn my head to imagine the look on Caprice's face. I brace for a response, but oddly enough, it never comes. While I'm sure the news is a relief to Darren, I can't help but deflate a little. It's my fault for getting my hopes up, but even I expected more than 3 people. Granted, Caprice's 4 isn't exactly a huge improvement.
Don't let the size fool you, though. What we lack in quantity, we make up for in quality. Here, look at this.
She approaches Darren and I once again, passing him the book she was holding just moments prior. I lean in to catch a glimpse and am met with chicken scratch. A lot of it. There's more ink than paper, and that trend continues as Darren flips a few pages.
The club can be a great source of inspiration and technical know-how if you'll allow it. I filled up this entire notebook and a couple others just in my first semester here.
And how many pages have you filled out recently?
The smirk from earlier has yet to fade, and as a matter of fact, it's only gotten bigger with her new remark. A grumble from the back of the room, from Wallace, if I had to guess based on the tone, follows shortly after.
Plenty, thank you. The club's recent downsizing hasn't had any influence on that.
Even with the rest of her club, all 2 of them not really winning me over, the work Millie has on display is impressive. At the very least, I feel like I could confidently rely on her, which is a plus.
Millie knows her stuff, I'll admit that. But there's only so much one person can do.
I jump a bit in my seat, throwing my head around to find Caprice standing over mine and Darren's shoulders, eyeing the contents of the notebook herself.
All I'm saying is that the art club, the entire club, would be able to help you. Unlike the writing club, our little circle looks out for each other.
There's gonna be a full-on war at the end of this game, isn't there?
Don't drag us into this.
Too late for that.
Without averting her gaze from the cabinet's innards, Eileen manages to swiftly shut him down.
Bold of you to hype your club up like that, given you didn't even bother to finish the paperwork to legitimize it in time for the fair.
I got a set of keys for a room and a bunch of like-minded artists. Being recognized as official would just be a nice bonus.
I'm pretty sure I have a pair of keys that you commandeered for yourself.
Hey, whose side are you on here?
Caprice's explosion is met with a small smile from Allison and an even smaller smirk from Eileen. They don't seem to be taking this too seriously, which honestly may be a point in their favor.
Thank you for offering to share your space, by the way, Millie. We appreciate it. Even if Caprice won't say so.
Come on, not you too.
You're very welcome, Allison.
That expression on Millie's face, my god. Millie has a genuine talent for mixing sincerity and an underlying smugness almost perfectly.
Anyway, if you're all done chatting it up, we're gonna need you out of here soon. We were promised 15 minutes and you've already used up 5 of them.
Yeah, we're going. Just give us a few minutes to finish grabbing everything.
Wanna help us out, new kid?
Eileen continues her work, not bothering to turn around as she addresses me. Likely for the best, given the mutual surprise on Caprice and I's faces.
Huh? If you're being dragged into the group, you may as well start getting used to it sooner rather than later.
What? No! I was gonna bring them to an actual club meeting. Show them the best we had to offer. I had plans.
I didn't expect Caprice to object before me. Eileen merely shrugs in response.
I also haven't really committed one way or another.
I've heard that one before. 3 times, actually.
Jeez, what did I do to earn all this sass today? To be betrayed like this, time and time again, it's more than my poor heart can take.
Caprice cranes her neck back and places a hand on her forehead in a display of theatrics, prompting a couple of smiles out of Allison and Wallace. Far cries from the smirk that seems permanently glued to Heather's face. The thought of Heather is enough to remind me of my current situation, and I snap back to focus my attention on Millie and Darren. Is she doing okay? The latter seems content to keep paging through Millie's notebook as a means of staying out of the conversation, but Millie is obviously trying very hard to hide her transparent frustration with a smile.
It's fine. It'll get them out of the room faster, and we'll have time to catch up after you're done. Win-win, right?
She couldn't sound more disappointed if she tried. And boy, is she trying. I don't want to flake on Millie or Darren, given I willingly put myself in here with them, but at the same time, it'll only be a few minutes, and they'll tell me way more about the art club than a fully planned and rehearsed meeting would. It's non-committal for now either way, so I guess it isn't a big deal. But it's hard not to feel anxious about it. When do they get their Digimon? When do they get their Digimon? What should I do? Offer to help? Oh, they're so cute! Oh my god, I love these! Oh, that's adorable. Look at them. Oh, they're so good! You wouldn't do that to Caprice. I love both of Caprice's expressions. They're so good. So good. I mean, like, Millie's are also good, like, sticking well with the character, but just the sheer, like, changes between these two. Oh, I adore them. They're just such adorable drawings as well. Let's... I think I'm gonna offer to help. I second-guess myself for a moment, but eventually pull myself up out of my seat. Millie doesn't say anything, but the frown on her face says more than enough.
Like you said, it'll just be a few minutes. Win-win, right?
She responds with a faint nod and even fainter smile, pushing her disappointment as far to the back of her mind as possible as she turns her attention to Darren. I wish it helped me feel less guilty about things. As I approach the back of the room, Tanya takes notice and starts making her way from the group. As we pass each other, she gives me a couple taps on the shoulder.
Hopefully they'll stay in line if they have a newbie to impress. Good luck.
And with that, she takes her spot next to Darren and Millie as I shuffle to the back cabinets.
Howdy.
Hi.
Open that cabinet there. We need any printer paper and glue you can get your hands on. The proper stuff, not sticks.
She turns her attention to Darren, or as Millie now calls him, the better Olive. About as warm of a welcome as I can expect. I do as she says, pulling the doors open to reveal a handful of office supplies, in contrast to the various fabrics and coloured papers they've amassed into a pile on the countertop.
Thank you for the help, Olive. Even if they're small, setting up 2 tables for the club fair is a lot of work.
It's fine. 2 tables, though?
Millie's sharing her space with us, so we're helping with the writing club setup too. Fair's fair.
Caprice is quick to jump in, eager to not give Allison time to form a more generous response, surely. The relationship between Caprice and Millie is so strange. It's like they're fluctuating on how friendly they are with each other on a sentence-by-sentence basis. Even their actions are inconsistent.
So, don't take this the wrong way, but why help us out here anyway? You came here for the writing club, right?
She tries to make it sound like casual conversation, continuing to dig supplies out and adding them to the already rather large pile as she asks, but the tone of her voice betrays that pretty handily.
Well, Caprice mentioned getting your club together when we met in class the other day. I figured this might be better than forcing all of you to go out of your way for me.
Aw, see? They'd be a perfect fit.
Allison's smile reinforces Caprice's statement and forces me further into the cabinet to hide my blush.
Well, I'm glad you accepted my invitation because we've got things to discuss.
Uh-huh.
That's definitely up there on the list of most intimidating ways to open a conversation.
Allison was right. Caprice has told us a bunch about you already. Standard stuff. Flunking out, hoping to use the club as a lifeline.
I emerge from the cabinet, tossing a couple of stacks of unopened printer paper onto their stockpile. Eileen's face remains unchanged as she continues sorting through her own mess.
I hope she said more than that.
She has. She talked about you being nice and hardworking, and being a good cook, though I'm still not entirely sure where that last part came from yet.
I shoot Caprice a glance, whose only response is a sheepish smile.
Yeah, sure, great, but none of that is relevant to the point I'm trying to get to. You're only going to get out of us as much as you're willing to put in. Don't expect any handouts, at least not from me.
Right to the point, huh? I guess that's fair, as much as I doubt my ability to live up to the standards she seems to be expecting.
When did you get so soft, Eileen?
I kept trying to find a good spot where people would be talking so I could drink my water, but no! Olive keeps wanting to chime in. What? That's soft?
Don't know what you're talking about.
Allison pauses her rummaging for a moment to pat Eileen's back a couple of times. I love the way that characters move around and stuff. It's really cute. Olive, stop having thoughts. Just... Olive, if you could dissociate for a sec, just so that I could hydrate, that would be really handy. Thank you. Eileen freezes upon the physical contact, but both resume their scavenging soon after.
Eileen may be scary, but she's right. As long as you put in the effort, everyone here will be more than happy to help. Right, guys?
Sure.
Well, if I can, I suppose. I'm not really great at drawing and stuff myself.
Better than where I'm at, I'm sure. I'd appreciate it.
Caprice shifts her eyes to Eileen to get her final confirmation. The silence hangs awkwardly for a few moments before Eileen pulls herself out of the cabinet and returns Caprice's glance.
Like I said, if they can prove they actually want to put in the effort, I'll help. But I'm not a charity case. If you're dragging them in, they're going to be your responsibility.
Oh, come on. It'll be a team effort.
Uh-huh.
He just keeps having a 1,000-yard stare. I've forgotten his name. Was it Wallace? If it's not, I'm gonna look like an absolute fool, but hey. The guy here is just like staring into the middle distance. It's a relief to hear that everyone would be willing to help at least a little. Wallace is the one who looks 35. But I wish these two weren't so willing to try pawning me off to each other when I'm standing right here.
I'm capable of doing the work. I'm just trying to make sure the work I'm doing is good enough.
That sounds more than fair.
Here's hoping.
You really are playing softball today.
Eileen's grumbling from the cabinet signals the end of the conversation as the other club members resume their stockpiling efforts, Caprice opting to squeeze in next to me to double-check my work. I'm thankful to work in relative quiet after being grilled from the get-go, but at least I left that conversation roughly knowing where I stand with all of them. I think. With everyone focused on the task at hand, the pile of loose supplies starts looking hefty enough for the club to consider their job done, closing up the various cabinets and drawers as they organize the hall.
Sorry for dragging you along, Olive. Thanks for the help. See you at the fair, I hope?
One way or another, I guess. I haven't settled on anything yet.
Yeah, I know. I'm positive you'll come around in the end, though.
We'll see.
After forcibly dragging Wallace back to help with the heavy lifting, the art club files out, Tanya eager to close the door behind them. Their absence is immediately noticeable, the air feeling just a bit less chaotic. They took the background music with them as well. That would typically come as a relief, but the energy they carry as a group almost feels contagious, a thought that keeps coming to mind as I resume my conversations with Millie until the end of the meeting. The next day... Do we not see anything of the writing club from that one, though? Rude. Friday. Every student's favorite day of the week. What about Saturday? And Sunday? What then? What about those? Well, probably it's more Saturday than Sunday, to be fair. Look at all these students. This university has the highest proportion of ghost students in any in the state. Perhaps it's my imagination, but even as I head into the cafeteria, I swear I can't see anyone in here. Where are these noises coming from? The chattering of the people around me takes on a slightly happier tone than the days before. As for me, my mind is still occupied with thoughts of clubs, classes, and how many ghosts are in here? My last-ditch gamble to survive the semester. we got an ad break. Let's take that ad break appropriately. Do a bit of a stretch. Do a bit of a wiggle. Do a big yawn. All of these things and more could be yours for only $19.95. Or, you know, free, I guess, if you're that kind of person. I'm liking this, though. I really like as I've said several times, I really like the aesthetic of, like, all of the menus and, like, the art in the game. I really like the character art, the fucking little, the little choice menu we had. Obviously, utterly adorable. I wonder if, I imagine we will, but I wonder if we're gonna get that with some of the other characters as well. Like, if we're choosing between, say, Eileen and Wallace, if there's gonna be a little version of them, or if it's always a split between the art club and the writing club. I'm curious to see. Also, I wonder, like, how rigidly... Because I imagine, you know, the idea is you choose one or the other, and that sets you down certain story paths. But I do wonder, like, how much picking one locks you out of interacting with the people from the other, and how much, like, overlap there's going to be. Also, here's a fun coincidence that I've only spotted because I'm standing up in my office right now. A friend of mine got me once as a present. It's an encyclopedia page with the characters from Steven Universe drawn over the top of it. It's really cute. And the final entry on this particular encyclopedia page is Wallace. So that's a fun coincidence. We're now enemies with the literature club. It said we weren't committing to anything. Specifically, it's Wallace Lewis Wallace, or Sir Richard Wallace, but I can only see a little bit about Sir Richard, who was a British art collector and philanthropist. His collection of pick. So, make of that what you will. I'm not entirely sure why this page was chosen for this art, if there was a particular reason. Pectin. His collection of pectin. Ooh, ah. Alright, let's get back into it. As for me, my mind is still occupied with thoughts of clubs, classes, and my last-ditch gamble to survive the semester. My stomach grumbles, the smell of food from the tables only reminding me of my hunger. The food's invisible as well! They buried him in a big jam jar. That's how I want to go. After skipping breakfast in my rush to get to school, I need something more than a cookie from the nearby cafe to get me through the day. The food here is nothing amazing, but I'm hardly picky. At least lunch will be a brief break from my worries where I can forget.
Olive! Olive, hey!
So much for that. Caprice waves at me from one of the tables. She has an uncanny knack for detecting my presence in a room, however crowded and busy it may be. Which, not to drive the point home too finely here, but there's no one else in here. They're just playing the sound of people over the audio speakers, I swear. Also, entirely, like, aspect ratio shift. I resign myself to my fate and take a seat as the woman next to her gives a small, polite wave.
Hi, Olive.
The two make an odd contrast. Alison's shy, almost nervous greeting in stark difference to Caprice's overabundant energy.
So, managed to survive Millie's lecturing after we left yesterday?
Little cute little mouth.
It was pretty quiet and low-key. Nothing that extreme.
By quiet, you mean boring, right?
Hey now.
You're an all-star.
Yep,
Get
it
your
was
game
boring
on,
and terrible.
play.
The typical writing club MO.
Now Heather has appeared, which can only make things better. Makes the same face your VTuber makes. Even though she's decided to walk up and invite herself into our conversation, she doesn't seem all that interested in giving us her full attention. Engrossed in her phone as usual, she barely looks up to address us.
What?
Caprice is visibly annoyed, with Heather's only reaction being the corner of her mouth tugging upwards. Heather's passion for pressing people's buttons doesn't stop with Millie, it seems.
Well, Olive, don't feel obligated to give them the time of day. We'll get you through the semester easy peasy. Right, Allie?
Yeah, of course. Right again. The club is nothing more than a waste of space.
Hey! Nobody asked you!
What? We're agreeing, aren't we?
Heather's managed to frustrate Caprice into silence, as impressive a feat as any. She seems to notice my bemused reaction, face suddenly rebounding into a grin.
I still owe you a proper meeting. You'll come, right?
How do I keep getting caught in these conversations?
We'll see.
And all the ones after that?
Well,
Great! I'll see you then. I gotta take care of some stuff for the fair. Bye, Ellie!
She shoots Heather one last venomous look before hopping out of her chair, beginning to head out of the cafeteria.
What about food?
Already ate! Bye!
How odd. Must have just been keeping Allison company. Wait, what was that she mentioned about a fair? Before I can call out and clarify, Heather once again speaks up.
Why did you even come to our club when you were already playing house over with Mommy Caprice?
Allison takes to her feet and grimaces at the comment. I can't help but match her expression.
Please don't call her that.
Just keeping my options open.
This might be a good opportunity to help with that. Got a member of each club in front of me, though not for long, as Allison picks up her tray of food and slips it onto the nearby counter. Heather looks unmoved by Allison and Caprice's abrupt departure. She takes a seat at the table next to me, barely looking up from her phone. Occasionally she'll sip from the can of soda she brought with her. She doesn't seem particularly enthused by the writing club, so I figure she wouldn't spare the unpleasant details. That said, Allison does seem like the honest type, even if she's more loyal. If I hurry, I can still catch her. Yeah, we got other pictures! Allison's expression, Heather's expression literally does not change if you opt for the other person. That's so good. Allison's so... Oh, okay, to be fair, neither does Heather's. I guess neither of them is too fussed. Heather seemingly actively does not want me to pick her, but her perspective may help, but... Ugh. Anyone's a better option than Heather! Wow. Wow. I mean, the part of me that wants to play this balanced is saying, no, we gotta go with Heather, we gotta see what's happening, but also Heather's mean. Heather mean and scurry. And look at Allison's face. A baby. But I do feel like we didn't learn anything about the writing club. I'd intended to get some food, but that can wait. This is likely as close to her full attention as I'll ever get.
So, about the writing club.
Don't ask me.
That was fast.
But you're a member, right?
That sweet, sweet tsundere payoff, crap. But we're not gonna get to that sweet, sweet tsundere payoff in 2 hours, Sarah. 1 hour, even. We've already done an hour.
Sharp as a tack. I was worried it may have flown over your head yesterday.
Gotta play the long game. Maybe I will, but I can't today. Why couldn't Tanya have been the one to find us here? I'm tempted to cut my losses and just walk away, but...
Are meetings typically like yesterday?
Gemma! Congratulations on becoming a VIP. 49 OMG? Must be the subliminal messaging.
49 OMG.
49 OMG! Congratulations, Gemma. Let me give you that VIP you crave so much. Hell yeah! Congratulations. Thank you so much for sticking around and for all those points. And for all those subscribing years. Years? I mean, it is years, actually, isn't it? Oh, it's years. Oh, it's years. Thank you so much. How you doing?
Did you get the number
Who
of that
knows?
donkey cot?
I only show up often enough to remind them I'm still around. I'd imagine things are much
Literal
less
actual
exciting than
years.
Millie and her flunky loitering in a room together, though.
So Millie's the only one doing any actual writing, huh?
Oh, don't you worry about that. Tanya and I hand in papers every now and again if Millie asks. Gotta keep in the boss's good graces, you know how it is.
This is just starting to sound like stress, to be honest. It's sounding like we're taking on an extra class. Too many points on crab controls. You already have VIP! And you're doing a fantastic job of that, I'm sure.
If you're asking about the number of willing participants,
That's Haley.
though, I guess you're right on the money.
I don't know if I'd call a group like that the writing club, really.
I'm gonna talk to Haley some more. She'll be around, probably.
You can call it a club all you want, but it's just Millie's hobby at this point. If she wasn't so obsessed, it'd be long gone by now.
Oh yeah, I want to talk to your twin more. Okay, everyone is very interested in us talking to the people that are seemingly not in the clubs.
As soon as the old guard graduated, everyone left with
Fair, I
them.
don't know
It was just a bunch of
Darren's
friends.
plans are.
The writing side was totally just in the name.
Putting her phone down, she leans her chair back and begins to rock dangerously while staring up at the ceiling. Feels like she's talking more with herself than me at this point.
Wonder what I'll do once the thing's put out of its misery.
If it's that much of a bother, why go there in the first place?
To kill time?
That's it?
That's it. What do you want, an essay?
Yes! You're in the writing club, you should know how to write an essay by now! Much as I want to think less of her for it, there's plenty of people who just go to clubs to pass the day. If what she says is true, that's all the club was ever for before Millie tried to give it a point. As I ponder, Heather becomes restless. She stands and gives a loud stretch.
I'm gonna go get another drink. You want anything?
If you're offering,
And she's gone. Guess I should have seen that coming. As she walks off, I sigh in frustration. Looks like no matter which club I go for, I'm gonna be in for a trial. With class still some time ahead of me, I find myself wandering the halls, going over my choices in my head. Hey! At least one of the people in chat gets their wish. I just about bump into Haley, who's carrying some poster board and other materials.
Whoa. Hey, you need some help?
Without answering, she shoves some of her supplies in my direction, which I take. I already have a general idea of where she was heading.
The gymnasium, right?
Sarah, there's still time for our brother to turn up. There's still time.
Smart. Come on, you've been drafted.
She goes, and I follow.
So, how'd the meeting go yesterday?
You didn't hear about it?
Oh, I heard tons of things. But I'm interested in your perspective.
I'd love nothing more than a 5-minute mental break from Caprice and Millie War. Unfortunately, it looks like something I won't be able to avoid anytime soon.
Well, I'm not even entirely sure what happened. It felt like a sudden whirlwind.
Yeah, sounds like them.
As we enter the large building, I see that the area has been filled with tables arranged in rows. There are students running about, readying their booths.
Hey, where are we taking all this?
Putting it right in the garbage.
Over here.
I follow her to a table. Well, what's supposed to be a table, anyway. Instead, I find 2 smaller booths cramped inside the same small space, covered in red and blue cloth. One has a very formal-looking sign which reads Creative Writing. The other has a very slapdash sign simply reading Art, clearly written by the same hand.
You get the rundown on how they're sharing a spot already?
More or less. I remember them packing up a lot more than just a couple tablecloths and posters, though.
The art club is off turning all of that into brochures and other promo material for the 2 right now. This is all just bare bones stuff.
I'm surprised Millie trusts them enough to handle that.
Haley tucks her armful of supplies safely under the writing club's desk. I follow suit, emptying my hands as she lifts the cloth up for me.
Millie gets along well enough with all of them. It won't be an issue.
Could have fooled me.
Things are just complicated right now is all. You saw how they were at the diner.
Are you talking about their friendly small talk or them trying to poach me from each other?
That's why I called it complicated.
She brings a hand to her headphones, debating pulling them over her ears. After a moment, she thinks better of it, deciding to instead lean lazily against the writing table.
You're committed at this point, right? You're gonna be picking one or the other?
Yeah, that's about as far as I've gotten in my thinking, though.
No particular feelings so far?
Ugh, tons of feelings. Most of them dread. It all sort of cancels each other out.
Well, good luck.
Wait, what's up?
That was just Millie stuff. Gotta head over to the art room now.
Want me to come with you?
I've got it covered, thanks.
Once again, the headphones coming up signify the end of the conversation. The pause menu coming up indicates the end of my life! She pulls herself up from the table and starts making her way past me without any further elaboration. It may be impossible to decipher Millie and Caprice's goings-on, but trying to get a read on their roommate is an entirely different experience. I debate sticking around to catch her again, but decide against it and make my way out of the auditorium, going out of my way to leave through the opposite doors. The next day. Today marks a day so rare that I can't remember the last like it. Something so monumental, the full implications haven't settled in yet. A day without school, study, or work. The sizzling of bacon rings in my ears, its smell playing on my nose. With time on my hands for once, I've decided to start the day with a simple pleasure. The taste of eggs and bacon for a late breakfast. Why is picking a club seemingly so dramatic? It's a visual novel. Every decision you make is life or death, not animal tested. Do you not know how this genre works? Welcome in. It's high school. It's high school! As I enter the bacon with a spatula, I take a sip of the steaming coffee beside me. It's not high school, but it's like high school. Unfortunately, my skills in cooking haven't translated to my skills as a barista, the concoction proving foul. If it weren't badly needed caffeine, I'd have tipped it out already. The little cactus sitting on my windowsill catches my eye. My pride and joy, as embarrassing as that may be to admit. Easy to take care of, too.
Looks like you're doing better than me these days.
My words to the plant go unheard. Living alone isn't the easiest thing. Every chore, meal, and errand needs doing myself, after all. But it is comfortable. I can do things on my own schedule, and eat at my own pace. I don't know if American universities really are just a few more years of school, or if that's just what all media portrays it as. It does really seem that way, right? It is the most important decision these characters have ever made. Solitude might not be easy, nor cheap, but it is simple. Pleased with the plant's quiet and unassuming company, I take another sip of my foul coffee. A distant ping from the couch announces a received text. Considering how few people I know, it's either Mum or work calling in to ask me to help cover a shift. Knowing which I prefer, I turn down the heat on the stove and walk over to pick up my phone. I hover near the top or bottom and use the mouse scroll to scroll through text. Unlike me, she had work today. I look at the time. Not even noon yet. If she's texting me now, she's probably just getting off her opening shift. Ollie, you home right now? Yeah, what's up? Mind if I drop by for a bit? Maybe over lunch? Sure. Great. See you then. See ya. No more years of school, but they are different than other schools. She's fussing over me again, as she so often does in quiet moments. It's hard not to notice it's happening more often now that I'm living alone, though she's never outright admitted that. Not that it really matters. I cherish any free time we get to spend together, and it's not like I had anything in particular planned for the day ahead. Besides, she can probably lend some more insight. Mum sits at the small table, its shabby, scuffed wood adorned with a small pastry box she's brought with her from the diner. It's a bit of a comfort to know that even living apart, she still brings extra treats for me. I'm thankful I had a light breakfast.
Honey, you really didn't need to cook for me. At least let me help.
I was going to cook lunch for myself anyway. Whether it's for 1 or 2 people, doesn't make that much difference.
I carefully bring 2 plates over from the kitchen counter, each loaded with the chicken, vegetables, and rice. Despite her protests, Mum's eyes widen at the meal as it's placed before her, still steaming away.
This is better than having to cook for yourself. You deserve better than work food every other day anyway.
She smiles excitedly at the plates, shifting the box to the side.
It looks as good as it smells.
Thanks. So, how's work?
I take my seat next to her upon placing down my own plate of food. Mum talks about her day as I sit and take a knife and fork in hand.
And she's yelling at me. Her baby is crying, and her other kid, I'm telling you, they had the most embarrassed look. But what can I do? Except apologize. And of course, she didn't even tip.
Sorry I wasn't there
You
to
did
help
kick
you
her
deal
dog.
with that.
I'm glad you weren't there. Speaking of which, how's your day off been so far?
Oh, boring. Stressful.
What did you do?
I sat around here, mostly just a lot of thinking.
Ollie, it's your day off. At least take some time for yourself.
With what's been going on...
Still turn up about your classes, huh?
Yeah, guess so. And things just keep getting more complicated.
What do you mean?
Ollie? Ollie, you're still here, honey? Ollie? Ollie? I explained to her about the clubs, between the meeting from a couple of days ago, the upcoming fair, and the feud between the 2 leaders. She listens attentively, her expression varying between interest and concern. I feel myself deflate further and further as I talk, the hopelessness of the situation becoming all the clearer as I put it into words. Never quite sunk in until now just how bad my options are.
I really don't know what to do, Mom.
She has that soft, caring smile I've seen so many times in my life.
I know it's tough, but look at it this way. Even if they're fighting, the club leaders have been nothing but nice to you, right?
Sure. Maybe a bit too nice. I just don't know how things will go. My whole college career hinges on this.
You're more resilient than you give yourself credit for. I'm sure you'll pull through. Everyone wants you to do well. I know you won't regret your choice. Whatever it is.
Is August you, but girl, August is our mum.
That's easy to say.
It's true, though. You're wasting your day off stressing over it. Take the rest of the day for yourself. Relax, do something you enjoy. Don't make it another day of stress. That way you'll be going to this fair with a clearer head.
Oh, it's a college club. You can quit in a week if you hate it, but Olive's GPA is, what was it, like 1.2? And apparently this is like the only thing that can save their chance at continuing for more time in college. Hence why it's so stressful. What does that have to do with the clubs? That's easier said than done. She does have a point, though. I can't do anything more than I've already done at this point. It may not sit right with me that my future depends on people I barely know, but those 2 are who I'm stuck with. I have no choice but to gamble on this. It's not how anything works. Credits from the actual courses, not from joining the club, but they need the clubs to give them what they need to get a good grade in the courses. I believe is the situation. Because Olive struggles with the coursework as is. So they're looking for people to provide support for these courses.
I'll try.
That's my Ollie.
She gives me a hug and a kiss on the forehead.
Now?
She pulls out the pastry box from earlier and places it on the table. It makes enough sense for what they're just doing. We just want to do a fun, silly game about having to choose between 2 rival clubs. Whoa! But to make the stakes at least something. She pulls out the pastry box from earlier and places it on the table.
I brought a slice for each of us. Which one do you want? I'll let you pick first.
Inside lie 2 slices of pie, signatures from the diner we work at, 1 slice of blueberry and 1 slice of cherry. If I didn't know any better, I'd think she had done this on purpose. Question whether the dropping out of college plot needs to be there at all. We don't know their life. Monday's come around again. I took Mum's advice and tried to relax after she left yesterday. I don't know if I succeeded. I feel like I've come back from an exhausting weekend. Today's the day of the fair. I'm not sure I'm sold on either choice yet, but I don't really have time to mull it over anymore. I went over it again and again. I'm hoping seeing them at the fair today will finalize that. With the morning study over, the cafe beckons for a quick pick-me-up before going to war in the club fair's gymnasium venue. Never having been to this kind of event before, I expect chaos, especially so given the circumstances. Heading in, the place is thankfully quiet, with a scant few students quietly sipping lattes while tapping on laptops or hunched over books. It wouldn't feel unusual any other day, but right now, it feels like the calm before the storm. A particular lanky girl catches my eye, as much for her bright get-up and headphones as anything else. Hayley sits quietly as she listens to her music, hand in chin with a small coffee beside her. For someone so mild-mannered, she sure stands out. She picks her head up and waves me over. Pulling up a seat, she rights herself a bit and takes a sip. Her grimace shows that it's either cold or bad. Probably only bought it to avoid being kicked out for hanging around without ordering. God, Tony always gets what she wants.
Hey.
I did think it was going to be Darren this time, to be fair.
Hi. Done with fair prep?
Yep. I helped them finish setting their tables up this morning, so I've got the rest of the day off till the car ride home.
It's bound to be an awkward time after the fair today.
Hayley can only give a weak shrug in response.
Caprice doesn't ride with us much nowadays. Dinner the other day was just an exception to the rule.
I wonder how I should read that. The meeting was definitely a bit tense, but I didn't think it'd be to the point where they'd be avoiding each other to that degree.
Are things okay? Like, between them, I mean.
This entire day of Whitehead Twinks and now this? Did you not enjoy the Whitehead Twinks, Sarah? Her face remains as deadpan as ever, but I can faintly make out a raise in her eyebrows. I guess a question like that out of nowhere probably deserves a reaction like that.
They've just been having some personal stuff going on for a while, and things are volatile. Nothing you need to worry about. Probably.
That's not what this is about. It wasn't clear this is a collab between me and Yeah, this whole time. We colluded. We went through the entire catalogue of games for the Choose Wisely Festival and we're like, okay, report back on how many Whitehead Twinks you find.
Probably.
Would it make you feel any better if I said, definitely?
By which I mean we collaborated to showcase cute people I would date. The thing was, it wasn't hard. It was just a lot of the options.
Fair enough.
I pinch the bridge of my nose in frustration, an act that apparently does not go unnoticed by her.
This stressing you out that much?
You don't know the half of it. The situation on my end is pretty dire.
As discussed earlier, Tony is a slut, not a slug. Exactly.
You'll be fine.
Say,
Promise.
Tony, I heard you were a slut.
I mean it this time.
How do you figure?
If you're just worried about your grades or whatever, they'll both make sure you get to where you need to be. They've never let me down anyway.
Another sip of her coffee, supposedly forgetting about the reaction she just had to it. As expected, her face contorts immediately in response.
Even if that's true, being stuck in the middle of those two like this just makes the entire thing feel more overwhelming than it probably needs to be, you know?
Yeah, well, join the club.
I've been stressing about just dealing with him this morning. I can't imagine actually sharing a living space with those two. I want to feel pity for Hayley, but the small smile on her face makes me second guess that decision.
Get it?
Yeah, I got it.
Content that her joke landed, she pulls her headphones back over her ears, our conversation at its end.
Get your drink and get out there. Don't let me keep you. Good luck.
Alright. Nice talking to you.
Yep.
You have to... No, we don't have to move in with them. She does live with them. So, yeah. Haley is roommates with Caprice and Millie, who are the leaders of the two clubs. But Haley herself is not in either club. By the time I arrive, the club fair is in full swing. What must be hundreds of freshmen with a scattering of second years here and there fill the hall and mill about. It's interesting to see which ones look like they're on a mission as they head directly for a particular club, compared to others who peruse the tables as if browsing a farmer's market. Haley is clearly the third secret route, one that Tony will be pursuing avidly. Unless we find a white-haired twink. I feel they would have been introduced by now if so, but there's still time. Dozens of small stalls are lined up with varying amounts of work put into them. Piles of flyers sit on each, the odd standee or prop set up to try to catch the gaze of passing students. Most of those behind club tables look more bored than anything, some having checked out completely as they lean back and browse on their phones. Clubbing! The occasional happy shout rings out as old friends recognize each other, but for the most part it's a surprisingly subdued affair. A nice surprise that calms the nerves a little, but not quite enough to really feel comfortable. Strolling along the aisles, I casually note the more niche club entries, such as robotics, fighting games, and fencing. I could probably be persuaded to join a couple of them under different circumstances. Nearing the end of one particular aisle, it isn't hard to spot, or should I say hear, the art club's table.
Looking for fun? Come to the art club. We're accepting anybody, no artsy experience required.
Sounds about right. Millie sits beside her, hands together on the table as she patiently tries to catch the eyes of those passing by. The formal act strikes me as a little put on, not helped by her occasional slips when Caprice gets louder than usual. How these two could live together has me beat, yet here they are, with their two small tables stuffed into one assigned space together. I feel like I'll never fully understand the relationship these two have. Then, it happens. Caprice and Millie both set eyes on their prey at the same time. Far from a fight breaking out, an intensely awkward silence reigns between the three of us as they carefully maintain their smiling facades, the occasional student passing by only exacerbating the standoff. Sighing at the cruel fate assigned to me, I realize I'll have to take the initiative.
Alright, so we all know what's happening here. Let me hear it.
If I may, the writing club's a great working environment, and you could get a lot more done in a peaceful workplace than a party. And being a real club, we have actual resources and didn't have to rely on sneaking into the club fair to even be here.
Even if she's too eager to bite, Millie isn't really wrong as she sneaks a smug look to her right.
Shows how much you know. I actually did the paperwork.
And yet here you are, sharing my allocated space.
I don't need to explain anything.
Such a good line read.
Olive's seen how great we are already.
Caprice on her own definitely has an overwhelming personality, but her club seems mellow enough. That, combined with the fact the art class is likely to be easier overall, it's tempting. The writing club, on the other hand, well, Millie herself seems really into the subject matter at least. Even if the rest of the club isn't much of a factor, it'd be hard to find a better tutor. Then get her as a tutor!
So, have you made your decision?
Let's hear it!
Whichever club I pick, I'll have to drop both the other club and the other class. There's not much chance I could do both and pull out a pass. Oh, they're so cute! They're so cute, though! Oh, oh no! Darren! Well, I feel like... His name was Darren, right? Not Daryl? One of those two. I feel like for Sarah's sake I have to go with the writing club. But also just look over here, look at these cuties. But also Heather's here. But also... But then again... With that in mind... Having said that... However... Then again, we've only got 20 minutes! There's no chance we can do that in this time! But... We're gonna join... But also, Wallace looks like he has drugs. Ooh, good point, good point. I mean, it doesn't necessarily have a huge impact. We are only playing for another 20 minutes. We might have time to see Darren one last time. That's kind of what I'm thinking. Oh, they look so sad when you're not picking them, though. What if... Okay, here's my option. I'm gonna jump out one of the windows. How does that sound? Let's go with the writing club.
Sorry, Caprice, but I think the best shot I've got is with Millie.
The collapse of Caprice's face stings a little, though at least Millie has the grace to give her a moment to deal with it. What if I did both and failed out of college? Not animal tested. You know how I work. You understand me. You get what my brain is like. Yeah, it's fine. I'll commit to everything. 3 weeks later.
Why did I do this to myself?
And then I explode. That's my brand. Infinite stress and then explosions. She bounces back in true Caprice fashion, settling for pouting as she sits back down in her chair. Millie takes the response as her cue.
Thank you, Olive. Pleased to have you aboard.
How bad could it be? Join the writing club, or what little is left of it. That's not an ominous achievement to unlock whatsoever. She catches herself and reels her excitement back in, though not quite quick enough for it to go unnoticed. Thank you for the follow, welcome in. Even if she was successful in writing her tone, the large smile on her face is still as obvious a tell as any.
Your first club meeting will be on Thursday evening then. I'm sure you know the place.
Have fun being bored with boring people. If you want to switch, the door is always open.
Is it? Is it? Because the game sure does make it sound like it's not.
I'll keep that in mind.
That's good. It means it's easy to become faction leader. That's the nicest no I can muster. I have to make sure I can pass, and the writing club is the best chance of that. Saying my goodbyes, we agree to meet later before I take my leave and head out from the gym. The writing club, if nothing else, at least there's some comfort in knowing what I'm in for. The next few months are going to be a trial, but Millie definitely seems the best tutor for dragging me past the exams. Only one way forward now, I guess. I'm still struggling with the idea of putting all of my trust into a single person, but it's the best option I have. Even if her smile was just a result of her winning her little war with Caprice, something about it manages to reassure me, at least a little. Buy a thread, finish the prologue, we did it! Ah! It takes a moment for my eyes to adjust as I step out into the dazzling sun. It's a Thursday evening, and that means everyone with a life is leaving the grounds as fast as their legs can take them. Everyone else, myself included, is walking right back into the campus. I pick up my pace as I walk. It'd look bad if I was late to the club I just joined. Reaching the arts building, I wait for the flow of students escaping the day's classes to taper off before squeezing inside and leaving the beauty of fall behind. Looks like a full house today, sad as the idea is. The only sound to be heard is the squeak of a marker on the whiteboard. Millie shoots me a polite smile as she notices me enter, before busying herself further with her very important work. Tanya rocks her chair while looking out the window, Heather apathetically plays with her phone, and Darren dutifully writes in his notebook. Taking off my backpack and swinging it beside me, I take a seat in the front row with the others, the only open seat being next to Heather. Can't imagine why. As the seconds roll by, and at a loss for what exactly I'm supposed to do, I busy myself with looking around the mostly empty room. The really almost totally empty room. The desks are organised into a perfect grid. Spare pencils fill the pen holders on the benches around the room. Excuse me. The teacher's desk, commandeered by Millie, is neatly organised with notebooks and folders. Everything is perfectly set up for the class ahead. Standing alone at the front of the room, Millie looks more like an actor playing a part in an empty theatre than a club leader. She's taking her time comparing the notes in her well-worn journal to what she's writing on the board, which is coming across as more nervous than diligent. In my wandering thoughts, I lock eyes with Heather for a moment. I offer a polite smile. Being that we're in the same club, for better or worse, it's worth at least trying to get along with her. Rather than return the awkward greeting, she simply rolls her eyes and goes back to her phone.
Wow, the art club was that bad, huh? Caprice must have left a pretty horrible impression for you to end up here.
That's it, I'm going to the other club! She doesn't look up from her cell as she talks, scrolling through her social feed way too fast to actually be reading anything on it.
What? No, it's not that. This just seemed like a more legitimate club. At the time.
Heather scoffs at that, half smiling in a way that mocks more than words possibly could.
What is it we're actually meant to do? Beyond writing, that is.
Show up every Tuesday and Thursday. So long as we have an extra warm body in the room, the club doesn't get killed off.
The snap of Millie's notebook closing takes my attention, our teacher turning back to the classroom. Heather pointedly turns slightly away from me, ending the conversation.
Welcome to another meeting, members new and old. I'll get right into it, since I know everyone's busy. Everyone will do some writing today on a topic they'll choose. You can finish your stories off after the meeting if you don't find the time today. At the next meeting, we'll share our work with each other. That'll help us all gauge where we're at in our writing skills and what we'd like to focus on going forward.
Unlike the dead silence from earlier, Millie is trying to project her voice in a loud and clear way, even if it's only to the four of us. Whatever issues the club may be having, I'm reminded of why I thought it was the better choice. She's earnest, and at the very least gives off the air of a good teacher.
Question, Miss Clark. How long does the story have to be?
Only as long as you want. This isn't classwork.
Lucky us.
This club could have been a Discord server. Unlike Tanya's somewhat rehearsed-sounding participation, Heather isn't even hiding that she intends to do nothing. Darren looks like he's copying down the notes on the whiteboard, so that leaves only me left as Millie turns towards my direction.
If you need any help, don't hesitate to ask.
I don't know where to even start, to be honest. I haven't read a book on my own time since 5th grade. I'm better at more logical subjects. The arts aren't really my thing.
The world isn't so neat that everything can be divided up into logical or creative sorts. A blank page is always a writer's worst enemy, but this is a writing club, not a workshop. We can work through it together.
She closes her eyes, giving serious thought as how best to make do with my less than useful outlook. To my surprise, it doesn't take long before her eyes reopen, a newfound sparkle in them.
Tell me, where do you think a story should start?
The beginning?
Wrong. A story starts with a plan. A story without a plan is just a meandering series of sentences.
That's how I go through it. I wasn't prepared for this passion. Glancing sideways to see if this is considered normal, my neighbour sits there unfazed, apathetically scrolling her phone. This is that, then.
So, let's start at the real beginning. The highest layer of writing a story. An idea. Someone give me a one-sentence idea for a story. No details at all, just the elevator pitch.
A knight saves a princess from a castle.
Tanya jumps up, suddenly looking way more excited. She smiles as Millie claps her hands together and writes it on the board. I appreciate her input. The atmosphere of the room changes ever so slightly in the spirit of collaboration.
Excellent.
Collaboration!
That's a high-level story concept. Ideas are quick and easy to come up with, but finding one you're excited about is the most important part. Now, down to the next layer. What 3 things should any story have?
She pauses and looks back to all of us. Tanya sits back down and looks around to the rest of us for help. Seeing me look entirely lost and Darren avoiding her eye contact, Tanya gives Heather's desk a small kick. Well, a regular kick. Heather responds with an annoyed and glares at the ceiling as she responds. Considering everything about Heather, that was a pretty tame response. I wonder how often something like this happens.
Introduction, conflict, resolution.
Thank you, Heather. Now, Tanya's story about the knight and the princess needs an introduction, a conflict, and a resolution. Darren, could you fill that out for us?
I guess it'd be... The knight and the princess's situation is set up for the introduction. The conflict is the idea itself. The knight has to save the princess. Then, I guess the resolution is for the princess and knight to get married and live happily ever after?
Almost there, but the conflict needs to be an obstacle to reaching the conclusion. Why does the princess need saving? What's in the way of the two being together?
Usually, it'd be something like a dragon has her locked up.
What is dragon? I want to be the dragon's friend. Can I date the dragon? Devs? Devs, get at me. I want to make DLC for your game where you date the dragon. Give him a smooch.
Good, but now this story feels a little too formulaic.
I'll still smooch the dragon. I don't care if it's formulaic.
How about for the assignment this week, you all write the story of the princess and the knight with your very own twist. Something to make the story uniquely yours.
How can we choose wisely if we can't date the dragon? Exactly! Okay now, Olive. Who in the story is the metaphor for the government?
There's one last layer before we start writing in earnest. We have our outline, but now we need to attack the structure.
Hell yeah,
How do
attack
you
the
approach a
structure!
project?
Oh, you don't... Sorry, I misunderstood. No, it's fine. Sorry, I got the wrong idea.
We need to take our story outline and break it up further into chapters. If you like TV shows, think of them as episodes, or maybe as different scenes from a play. How about 3 chapters, or just paragraphs for a short story, between each of the introduction, conflict, and resolution?
Or the princess just has depression, doesn't want to go outside. That's conflict. If depression ain't conflict, I don't know what is. You can't date the dragon because the dragon and princess are exclusive. That's, you know what, that's fair enough, but I respect their decision. The conflict is me getting over my saddened feelings at this situation. The resolution, I'm gonna go eat an entire cake.
You can change that as you go if things don't feel right, but that gives us a framework to hang our story on. There, does that look like something you can write?
I can kind of see it in my head now. Yeah. This whole process doesn't feel very creative, though. I mean, carefully dissecting a story into layers and components feels a bit clinical.
Ah! Hi, Zoe! Welcome in, Zoe. It's me. You're cute. Get out of here with that. You coming in here calling me cute when you're out here being all cute yourself? Mamma mia. A sparkle shines in her eye. I've stumbled into something she wanted me to work out for myself. Stop making stories into onions to dissect.
So clinical that you might say it's almost logical.
I should eat an entire cake. Alright. Welcome everyone, this is my after-school club. It's called Cake Eating. Your homework for next week, go out, buy a cake, eat a cake. Eat a whole cake. Do it. Report on the cake. Actually, you don't even have to report on the cake. Just eat the cake. Tanya gives an amused snort from the other side of the class, and even Darren smiles a little at that. She got me. She was leading me to that. Iris, please stop encouraging people to come in and bite me. Cripple, no, I will know. Ah! No! She's biting me! As the prophecies foretold! Ah! Zoe, we unlocked, Sarah, what's that emote called? The grabbing one? We just unlocked it today. I don't remember what it was called, but yeah, that's the one, thank you. Give me that, yeah. Give me that. That has Zoe vibes to me. Yeah, there you go. Oh, what a fun time. I'm encouraging people, just the one person. You know what, that's fair enough. And it's, you know, it kind of feels like a wash when you're encouraging someone to do something they were probably already going to do at some point anyway. She was leading me to that this entire time. Why am I struggling with this sentence so much? She was leading me to that this entire time. Millie leans back on the desk behind her and lets me stew for a moment.
There's no clear line between creativity and logic. You need both to write, or make any sort of art.
You know what, the gimme that does feel like it lines up pretty much perfectly as like the before picture for Zoe's grab emote. It's just like the same scene from two different perspectives.
To paint a person, I imagine you need to understand anatomy. To write a story, you need to understand structure and how readers will think. Don't get hooked up on being as imaginative and original as you can. Just practice. Write badly. After a while, you'll come to intuitively understand why some things work and others don't. Like a driver slowly learns to work a car without thinking about how they're doing it. And when you're stuck, you can always talk it out. Giving each other feedback is the most important and fun part of writing. So take some time to plan it out, think of your knight and princess, and ask around if you're stuck. We can all share our stories next Tuesday.
The room's already awash in the orange of sunset by the time I sit up to take a break. Speaking of taking a break, I think I'm gonna make that where we end off for Twofold. Because otherwise I fear we're not gonna get a decent stopping point, and my whole schedule's gonna get a little bit too wonky. But I've had a lovely time with this. I'm really excited. It's made me very excited for the next game. As well, but yeah, I love the aesthetics on this. I like the characters. It's cute. Also, it's nice having a fully voice acted game, which gives me a bit of a rest. You don't have to come back with a 700-page novel that has 24 characters and 3 layers of meta narrative. He's gonna have gone away and written essentially the Silmarillion of his own world. He's gonna have full J.R.R. Tolkien levels of world building separated off into so many spin-off novels and encyclopedias. It's gonna be so good. If you would like to check out what happens with the rest of these lovely characters, check out Twofold on stream up in the pinned post or in the description depending on where you're watching this. Do it today. Today is the last day of the Choose Wisely Festival, so if you want to get him now. Invented his own language in a weekend. He's got a language already ready to go. He's just been waiting for the opportunity. Right. I'm going to go to our BRB screen. And when we come back from the break, we'll be playing... What is it called? Lock and Key, I think? Lock and Key. Lock and Key. I'm going to be playing Lock and Key, a magical girl mystery. You switch game, I microwave soup. Synergy, it's the same thing, but just from different perspectives. I'll see y'all soon. Bye-bye.